Friday, August 20th, 1 o'clock. I just got home. I woke up early to move my car. I was a little tired. I was trying to decide what I wanted to do today, because I had to move it early, because I parked it right next to a school. So I said, you know, let's go to that hike. It's Land's End Trail. Land's End Trail. And I'm driving and just noticing the streets, and I have the GPS on, so it's taking me through different just the streets, and I'm becoming a little more familiarized with some, and then there's others that are new ones. Just reflecting on last night, the poet's reading, and just reflecting on the week. And so I'm driving and I'm smiling at the same time, because I realized I took my cousin to Oakland last night after the poet's reading. She has a trip that she was going to, and I was going to drop her off there right after. And unexpected, really unexpected. I did not expect to go after the poet reading to the airport, Oakland airport. But you know, I'm sure, no problem, right? I drop her off, and it's a different vibe there for sure in certain parts. And she was saying, she's like, it feels weird because it's so open, and it looked very suburby like, and I'm like, oh, this feels fine for me. But just knowing, okay, this is how to get here, right? And wondering, there's always that, like, a little bit of fear, you know, that sometimes tries to creep in, that I'm in a new city, it's like close to 10:30, 11, I still need to come back and try to find parking. But I kept it at bay. I'm like, I'll be fine. God, you got me, you got me. And then wondering the purpose for why I'm dropping her off, because there's purpose in everything. Right? Every action, there's a purpose. It's purposeful. At least the way I'm choosing to look at my situation, how things are unfolding. And the drive back was beautiful. I hadn't crossed the bridge, which reminds me I need to write down that I had to pay the toll for that. But I hadn't crossed the Bay Bridge at night. And it looked beautiful. And it reminded me of when I went to San Pedro before I came. I think it was like the week before I left. And it was that same feeling of like wondering, like, okay, I gotta drive back home, it's gonna be late. But then being in awe of the lights and the harbor and the bridge that I crossed over. That's what it reminded me of. And I'm just taking it all in and being grateful that I can see the city in this way. Because I hadn't seen it like that before. So it's new for me. So I'm crossing over. But a conversation that I had with my cousin, I was sharing with her. Oh, she asked me, how's your week going? Because I hadn't connected with her. And I shared with her this new friend that I met and the lovely couple that invited us to lunch. And then I said, we ate at Green's. And then she said, you ate at Green's? And she got so excited. And I said, is that the restaurant you were telling me about? She said, yeah. So she was so excited that I got to eat there already. I said, it was really lovely. And she's like, wow, And she's just like amazed that things are unfolding in this way, right? And then she asks me about this fire sign. If I've connected with him. I said no. I said not really. Not since before he left. I said I hope he's okay. But I said we didn't leave with anything like, you know, that we were gonna catch up or we were gonna meet. And there was nothing. And then she asked me if he knew I had moved. I said I don't know. I knew. I was trying to remember, and I'm like, I know I mentioned to him wanting to move out here, and I think we left off where I was going to figure it out, but I don't think he knows that I'm here. And then I told her, I said, you know, I didn't move out here for a boy. And she says, she's like, oh no, I didn't mean it that way. I didn't know. I would have never thought you would have moved for a boy. I was like, thank you for that. I appreciate that. I said, because you'd be surprised there's other people who thought I would for a boy. Because that's what I would have done. The old me would have done that. So we're just talking before she leaves on her trip. So I was thinking about that on the way this morning to Land's End Trail. Just laughing. Laughing. And I just finished listening to that YouTube show, The Well-Being, with the cartoon Abraham Hicks. And she's talking about, or they're talking about the energy. The energy. I need to refer to my cousin as they. That's her pronoun. That's their pronoun. But anyways, this video, and it's resonating with me, and I really like it, and I save it, and I'm happy, and I feel good, and it's taking me down this path that's familiar but also not. I get there. It took me a different route than when I had been there before. And then I get there and there's a few cars. And I'm just sitting in my car, looking. Prepared for a hike, but just sitting. And listening, wanting to listen. And I get inspired to write. So I wrote. And I clicked on, I mentioned that I listened to myself. I listened to the videos that I post the same day because I'm learning something new. I always learn something new. And I click on the link to listen to Dorian Wood. And I'm listening to Dorian. And I just get inspired again. And the tears are coming. The tears are coming. And then I just start writing. And his rendition ends and I replay it and I keep writing. I don't know how many times I rewind it. And I just kept writing. Next thing I know, it's noon. Close to noon, and I'm like, where did the time go? Got here at 8. And it's almost noon. And I'm still in my car, writing. So I wrote one, 2, 3, 4, 6 poems. 6 poems. I think they're poems. And then his voice, I hear his voice, was poetry. And I'm like, it's just a bunch of words put together. I don't remember what I told him, but I didn't think much about my answer. I should have given him more thought. What is poetry? And then I said English wasn't my strongest subject in school. Even though I was in honors English and AP English, I always struggled. I struggled in that class. My SAT scores for English weren't that great. Borderline smart. Right? Borderline smart. Not too smart, but not smart. You know, just borderline. And this continued being, as I'm reflecting on my life, on my childhood, being in the middle, not too rich, not too poor, united de los dos, right? And a hardworking family, not poor community, but then an affluent community, but at the outskirts, right? Like always at the outskirts, never really fully immersed in one or the other. Just somewhere in the middle. Just somewhere in the middle. Always in the middle. And the words just keep coming. The words keep coming out. And the tears. And I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm somewhere in the middle. Reflecting on last night. And then realizing the video that I posted, I'm talking about the literary event Lunada de la Raza. Lunada Pride that I saw last month. Or 2 months ago. It was 2 months ago. Because we're in August. And that was in June. And just the continued theme pattern. That same grief. That I'm like, I don't know that struggle. Not completely. But I know what struggle is in my own way. Somewhere in the middle. Somewhere in the middle. And then I realized I was done. I felt like I could have stayed there longer. I wanted to. But I thought I need to come back and find a parking spot. And I'm crying all the way back home. I'm crying as the GPS is taking me a different route back home. And it's amazing. The view it continues to be magical. Continues to be new. And it just surprises at every corner. It's just... In my mind, I'm like looking, just taking it all in. I can't believe that I'm here. That I feel so inspired. That there's surprises at every corner. Somewhere in the middle. I'm somewhere in the middle. But closer to feeling me. That's how it feels like. I'm closer to feeling like I get here and I find good parking just down the street. I don't have to move my car until next Tuesday morning. If I don't want to. This one is called Amor Mío. No te preocupes. Sé que estás en un país donde te odian y te aman toda a la misma vez. No te preocupes, que tu piel no es el color de canela y que te dicen que eres del Middle East. No te preocupes del dinero, de haber cambiado hogar más de 15 veces, de ser divorciada, de ser amada y no ser amada a la misma vez. No te preocupes de sentirte sola, porque no lo estás. Levanta tu rostro, mira adelante, mira los árboles, el océano, el cielo. Hay tanta abundancia que se te ha olvidado. Te enfocaste en lo que no tienes, te perdiste en la lucha del pasado, del presente y lo que has creado para el futuro. Levanta tu rostro, mira adelante, imagínate el mundo que deseas y mantente ahí. Se te ha olvidado que este momento lo creaste tú con las acciones que tomaste en el pasado y el mañana será lo que hoy te enfocas. Aprecia el pasado, pero no te pierdas. Hoy es un nuevo día. El sol amanece contigo para dar luz a un nuevo futuro. No te preocupes, amor mío, no te preocupes. Levanta tu rostro y mira adelante. Enfócate en la abundancia que ya existe enfrente de ti. Amor mío, no te preocupes. Levanta tu rostro y mira adelante. I'm tired now. I think I'm gonna take a nap. I'll take a nap. Thank you. Bye.
My name is Yubi, and in case you haven't figured it out, this footage is capturing my experience as I learn to navigate my personal spiritual awakening. I am learning that this experience is unique to each one of us. In whatever way we believe we are embracing living our truth, this just happens to be my journey. And despite me having a graduate degree and a license in clinical social work, this by no means is intended to replace any type of mental health advice. This is just me on a personal level, documenting my experience, shedding light on the truth that I am learning and discovering for myself, and really inviting you along for the ride. If by some magical chance you find this content to be helpful in any way, shape, or form, please click the like button, share the message, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have an Instagram account, a personal one, and one specifically for this channel that you're more than welcome to check out. I'm an open book. I have also created t-shirt designs. I'm wearing my favorite one right now, which is the North Node design, but I have that and other things that you can look at inspired by this process and journey, and I have the link in the description box as well as in the about section of my YouTube channel. So you're more than welcome to check those items out. Any type of support is great. Again, if you find this content really helpful or meaningful, sometimes when we take that step and be vulnerable, with showing what's inside our hearts and what's really our truth, we realize that we're much more connected than what we thought we were. And so I hope that as I'm living this experience and that you find some type of truth for yourself or find some type of ability to heal in some way just by relating, just by knowing that you're not alone. That really has been my goal with this process, not just being able to connect with others, but really for my own healing. It's definitely been a therapeutic experience and a very creative one for myself. So I thank you, and I wish you all the